Your engine is dying right now. Not from one big failure, not from some dramatic blow-up that leaves you stranded on the shoulder with smoke pouring out of the hood. It's dying in small pieces, every single day, from things you're doing without even knowing it. And the worst part is, these mistakes feel completely normal. They feel like nothing. You've probably done 3 of them just this week. I've spent 40 years with my hands inside engines. I've pulled apart motors with 200,000 miles that looked brand new on the inside, and I've pulled apart motors with 60,000 miles that looked like they'd been through a war. Same make, same model, same year, sometimes. The difference wasn't luck, it was habits. Tiny, boring, forgettable habits that either protect an engine for 300,000 miles or quietly grind it down to scrap metal a decade early. Today I'm walking you through the mistakes I see most, the ones that don't throw a warning light, that don't make a noise, that don't cost you a dime today. They just cost you everything later. Stick around because mistake number 4 is the one almost every single person watching this is doing right now without realizing it, and it's the one that kills transmissions and engines together. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button right now. Not because I need the number to go up, but because this channel is where I hand you the exact fixes that keep shops from taking your money for things you could have done yourself in your driveway. 40 years of shortcuts, tricks, and honest advice, all free, all here. All right, let's get into the mistakes. Let's start with the one nobody thinks about. What you pour into the engine when the oil light flickers on and you're standing in the gas station parking lot with 15 minutes to spare. You grab whatever bottle is closest. Doesn't matter if it says 5W30 or 10W40 or something you can't even pronounce. Oil is oil, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. The weight of that oil determines how it flows when your engine is cold at 6 in the morning versus how it holds up when you're sitting in traffic at 95 degrees in July. Pour the wrong weight in often enough, and you're not lubricating your engine anymore. You're slowly sanding it from the inside. Bearings wear thin, metal starts touching metal in places it was never supposed to, and by the time you hear the knock, the damage was done 2 years earlier, one wrong bottle at a time. I had a customer bring in a car with 110,000 miles on it, complaining about a tick that got louder every week. Turned out he'd been grabbing 10W40 for 3 years because it was cheaper on a car that called for 0W20. 2 completely different flow rates. His bearings looked like sandpaper by the time I got the pan off. That's a $5,000 engine rebuild that started with saving $4 on a bottle of oil. Look inside your owner's manual or on the little cap under your hood and match the number exactly. It takes 10 seconds and it's the cheapest habit on this entire list. The second mistake is the one that gets people the worst, because it doesn't even feel like a mistake. It feels responsible. You see the coolant reservoir sitting low, you're proud of yourself for even noticing, and you top it off with whatever's sitting in the garage. Or worse, you use straight tap water because the store was closed and you didn't want to drive around looking for one. Different coolant types don't mix well, and most people have no idea there's even a difference. Some are silicate-based, some are organic acid technology, some are a hybrid of the two, and when you combine the wrong chemistries under heat and pressure, they can actually form a thick gel inside your cooling system. That gel clogs the tiny passages in your radiator and your engine block, the narrow ones designed to be only a few millimeters wide in the first place. Your temperature gauge looks fine for months while all of this is happening quietly in the background, out of sight. Then one day, out of nowhere, usually on the hottest afternoon of the summer, you're stranded on the side of the road with a cracked head gasket and a repair bill that starts with a comma. My name is Bob Jones, and that's exactly why I put everything I've learned, 40 years of it, into one place. I call it the Driveway Mechanic's Money Manual. It's not a textbook. It's a straight list of the repair shops charge 4 times too much for, and exactly how to handle them yourself with tools you probably already own. Sensor replacements, brake jobs, fluid flushes, headlights, belt swaps. The stuff dealers mark up because they know most people won't question it. Every fix is in there with the part numbers, the real prices, and the steps. Plain language, no runaround. One copy. One time, and the first repair you do yourself pays for it 10 times over. Link is in the description. Go grab it. Now, mistake number 3. This one's sneaky because it looks like you're being gentle on your car. You only drive short trips. 2 minutes to the coffee shop, 5 minutes to drop the kids off, 10 minutes to the grocery store and back. Your engine never fully warms up. It never reaches the temperature it needs to burn off the condensation and moisture that naturally build up inside during combustion. That moisture mixes with oil and forms sludge, thick, dark gunk that clogs oil passages and starves your engine of lubrication exactly where it needs it most. A car that only does short trips can build more internal wear in 3 years than a highway commuter does in 10. I've seen it firsthand. 2 identical trucks, same year, one driven 40 miles a day on the interstate, the other used strictly for school runs and grocery trips. The highway truck hit 240,000 miles before it needed real engine work. The short trip truck needed a valve job at 90,000. Same engine, completely different life expectancy, purely because of trip length. If your driving is mostly short hops, once a week, take it out for a solid 20-minute drive on the highway and let that engine actually breathe. Mistake number 4, the big one I mentioned earlier, redlining your engine cold. You start the car, you're already running late, and you pull straight out of the driveway with your foot down. Cold oil is thick. It hasn't circulated yet. It takes a good 30 to 60 seconds for oil to reach every corner of your engine and start doing its job properly. Hammer the throttle before that happens, and you're forcing metal parts to grind against each other with almost nothing between them. Do that enough mornings in a row, and you're shaving years off your engine's life, one cold start at a time. And turbocharged engines have it even worse, because the turbo itself is spinning at close to full speed on oil that hasn't fully circulated yet. Give it 30 seconds. Just 30, roll out of the driveway easy, let the oil pressure come up, and save the heavy throttle for once the temperature gauge starts moving. Number 5 ties into something almost nobody checks until it's too late. Your serpentine belt. That single rubber belt is running your alternator, your power steering, your air conditioning, and on plenty of cars, your water pump too. It cracks slowly from the inside out, where you can't see it just glancing under the hood. Most people don't touch it until it snaps, usually at the worst possible moment, on the highway, in traffic, nowhere near a shop. When it goes, your engine can overheat within minutes because your water pump stops turning, and on some cars the belt runs so close to the timing components that a snapped belt can bend valves on its way out. Get it checked every 30,000 miles. Run your fingers along the ridges. If you feel cracks across them or chunks missing, it's already past due. It's an $80 part. The engine damage from ignoring it is not $80. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, this guy's just trying to scare me into buying something, hang on, because mistake number 6 proves I'm not exaggerating a thing. Cheap gas, specifically gas from stations that don't meet the top-tier detergent standard. Over time, low-quality fuel lets carbon deposits build up on your intake valves and inside your fuel injectors. Your engine starts running rougher. Fuel economy drops, acceleration gets sluggish, and you probably won't connect any of it back to the gas station you picked because it was 3 cents cheaper. Look up the top-tier gasoline list. It's public, it's free, and stick to those stations when you can. It's the cheapest insurance policy you'll ever buy for your fuel system. One more before we wrap up. Ignoring the check engine light because the car still drives fine. That light isn't there to ruin your day. It's your engine telling you something changed before you can feel it. A loose gas cap and a failing oxygen sensor trigger the exact same light on your dash, and most people assume the worst and just avoid dealing with it altogether. Get it scanned. Most auto parts stores will pull the code for free in the parking lot. Takes 5 minutes, and it tells you whether you're looking at a $2 fix or a problem that's actively getting worse every mile you keep driving on it. Every one of these mistakes shares the same trait. None of them announce themselves. Your dashboard doesn't light up. Your engine doesn't make a sound. You just keep driving, keep topping off, keep pulling out of the driveway with a heavy foot, and the bill quietly builds in the background until the day it comes due all at once. Usually at the worst possible time, usually for way more money than any of the fixes would have cost. So here's what I want you to actually do with this. Pick one, just one of the 7 mistakes I covered, and fix it this week. Check your oil weight against what your manual actually calls for. Look at your coolant reservoir and make sure it matches what's already in there. Take one longer drive if you've been doing nothing but short hops. Run your fingers over that serpentine belt while the engine's off and cool. Get that check engine light scanned instead of hoping it turns itself off. That's it. You don't need to overhaul your entire routine tonight. You need to stop doing the one thing that's costing you the most, because that one thing is usually the difference between an engine that dies at 90,000 miles and one that's still running strong at 250,000. And if you want the full breakdown, every repair shop's overcharge for, laid out with real prices and real steps, that manual I mentioned is linked below. It's the same stuff I've used to save my own customers thousands of dollars over 4 decades, just handed straight to you. Guys who've never touched a wrench in their life are doing brake jobs in their driveway on a Saturday morning with that thing open on their phone. It's not complicated once someone actually shows you the part number and the real price, instead of letting a service advisor make it up on the spot. People ask me all the time why I'd rather teach this stuff for free on a channel and sell a $20 manual instead of just quietly doing the work myself and cashing the check. Truth is, I spent 40 years watching good, decent people get talked into repairs they didn't need, at prices that had nothing to do with the actual cost of the part. A woman came into my shop once, been quoted $1,200 somewhere else for a job that took me 40 minutes and $60 in parts. That stuck with me. Once you've seen enough of that, you can't just keep quiet about it. If this saved you from a mistake you didn't know you were making, hit subscribe, because next week I'm covering the transmission habits doing the exact same quiet damage, and most of you are doing at least 2 of those too, right now, without knowing it. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 7 you're guilty of. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.